Well, hi. Today is Friday, November 29th, better known as Black Friday. I'm Todd Studer, and this is Morning Coffee. I hope that you have recovered from all the food comas from yesterday. No, I still have enough tryptophan flowing through my body to put a small city to sleep. And it's just going to continue because there's so many leftovers. But what better? Is there anything better than Thanksgiving leftovers? Well, maybe Christmas dinner leftovers. That might be about it. It is also the annual Hawkeye Husker game. It always happens on Black Friday. And what better place to watch that game than at the Mile Away, north of Council Bluffs on Old Lincoln Highway. They've got wing specials tonight. They have beer specials tonight. And you can watch the game in the friendly confines of the Mile Away. And I have a feeling we'll see both red and black at that game tonight. So kickoff is at 6:30. And speaking of which, coming up a little bit later on in the program, I'm going to be talking with an old buddy, old radio friend. I've been mentioning it this week that we're going to actually have a real Nebraska fan on the program to talk about this game. Do you remember Jeff Larsen? Jeff was a longtime radio personality in Omaha. He used to, long time ago, he used to have a show called Pillow Talk that was really, really popular. And Jeff has been a lifelong Husker fan. And he's excited that a team is finally getting back to a bowl game. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what we think may happen in tonight's game, and also just reminiscing, a couple of radio buddies hanging out. So that is coming up. Also coming up very soon, we're going to talk with Jayme Busch. We had her on last week with the AIM Institute, or a couple of weeks ago, but now she is coming on to talk about her small business. She has a little specialty shop called the Unique Boutique. It's in Neola. And she's going to be open both today and tomorrow and through the weekend, as she's got open not only for Black Friday, but also for Small Business Saturday. And that's the important thing coming up tomorrow is focus on small business and support those in the community. We're going to talk to Jayme about her shop and about just how much it means this time of year for not just hers, but also the stores all around the area. So that is on the way as well. Just Sue Creative, that is Sue Pitts, and she is a genius at marketing and being able to build your website, being able to put together an online marketing plan for you. She greatly increased the search engine optimization of my website as she was building it. And I think that if you go to leshillsmedia.com, I think it's a phenomenal website. I've gotten a lot of great comments about it. And in fact, right after Sue finished with it, I sent it out to some of my friends and they said, boy, that really looks good. It's streamlined. It's easy to read. It's easy to navigate. And Sue was incredibly helpful in making all of that happen. So go to justsuecreative.com, learn all about how Sue Pitts can help you and your business. Welcome back, Jayme Busch, to Morning Coffee. Thank you so much for your time. Last time we talked to you about the AIM Institute. This time we want to talk to you about, some people would consider it a side hustle, but I think you're probably too busy with with your shop to consider it that anymore. I think you're really kind of working two full-time jobs.
Yeah, it's busy, that's for sure.
Being Christmas time. Now, this is the Unique Boutique in Neola, and this time of year is really important for people with shops like yours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, number one, it's like our busiest time of year. Any retail is busy. Small business owners, I feel like we're even busier because we don't have maybe necessarily all the employees and all the extra help. And, last night alone, I started to make a post and didn't get it out yet this morning, but I had two friends of mine that, messaged me and were like, hey, do you need help Christmas decorating? Because I had taken off on Sunday, just closed the shop, didn't open, and just said I needed a breather and that I wasn't decorated yet for the holidays. So we spent about 5 hours last night decorating for Christmas. I feel like a month late, which is crazy because that would have been October, but essentially I'm a month late. But yes, it's a very, very busy time for small business.
Well, maybe being late, but how does it look now?
It looks like Christmas. Looks amazing. Yes. There's still little things I got to do. We rearranged, if anybody's ever been in Unique Boutique. It was one of those things where when we opened it, I hadn't really changed a whole bunch. Sometimes I put some different furniture in and stuff, but it has a whole new look. We moved the checkout stand. Everything's moved around, so it'll be a surprise for people who have come before.
Why would people want to come shop in your store? What types of things will they find there that would encourage them to get off the internet and stop? That I'm sure Jeff Bezos is a fine man, but Amazon is, yeah, it makes it easier, but to me, that's not really the point. I
Right.
think how easy you can shop for someone else is not the point. I think it going to a shop like yours and spending some time in there, talking with you, talking with any of your other people that you have there helping, that is what the real gift is, because now you are spending time thinking about that person and finding something that you feel matches what you know about them. That's my belief as to what the real uh, advantage to a shop like yours is.
Sure. I would say the first thing is that everything in there is handpicked by myself. I don't have buyers. I don't, I go to market in Dallas or Vegas, and touch and feel and price and all the things, 3, 4 times a year. So that's me taking time away from my family, by myself to fly down or drive down. I've done both. So biggest thing is that it's handpicked by me, thinking of everyone else, and sometimes I fail at that. Sometimes I think something's going to be amazing and then it doesn't sell, and that's part of it too. The other thing is, as far as coming to my shop, I would say, um, I've always had the motto, like, we try to have something for everyone. Um, I can't always say men. I have some little things for men. I get asked all the time, "You got Carhartt jeans or Carhartt sweatshirts?" Or maybe someday, but the motto's kind of always been that there's something for everyone. I always hope that someone can find something in their price range as well. So
Is it your husband asking you about the Carhartts?
uh, no, it's like but it's all the farmers around, like the guys that don't, they're here all the time. They don't really, I don't think they probably get out too much, unless it's Baumgars.
Right. Well, yeah, there's truth to that, and well, now you brought up a good point. Now let's talk about Christmas shopping, because a lot of these farmers are going to be looking for things for their wives, looking for things for their
Yes.
daughters, and your shop would be a great place to be able to do that.
Yes. I get a lot of messages. I don't think that the men like to come in, and I always encourage them to, but I do get a lot of messages from men. Can you help me pick this out? Or this is what she likes, or has she been in your shop? And what does she like? Sometimes the biggest one is, I don't know what size she is, and I don't want to ask, and I don't want to assume. So for and I'm like, good, don't assume. And then I tell a funny story about my husband and I's first Christmas. He probably killed me for this, but it's quite funny. I didn't know we were exchanging gifts. I didn't know we were on that level. And he had a
Oh,
gift for me, and yeah, and I opened it, and it was this like Western dress. It was super cute, but he's like, I think you're like my sister's size, and his sister is like a skinny beanpole. Love you, girl, but you're skinnier than me. I'll never be that skinny. And so I was like, thank you, thank you. Like years later, he's like, whatever happened to that? I was like, I went and traded it for a Western belt. And he will never let that live down, like not ever. So, but yes, don't assume, ask. No, most of the time, if I can look at a picture and kind of have a general idea, or unless I know their significant others. So
well, you have touched on something that I had brought up on Wednesday's show about what you actually get by going to smaller shops at some of these smaller communities. And that level of service is exactly what I'm talking about. You don't get that by jumping online and roaming through all of the different things on Amazon. You don't get the personalized part of it. And when the time comes that person is giving that gift to someone else, there's a story attached to it, and
mhm.
there's more to it than just that the gift. There's a lot of memories attached to it at the same time. We've a lot of people have gotten away from that. You don't. I know that this is Black Friday, so there's a lot of folks that are not shopping, but it used to be an event more than just one day.
Right.
That you go out maybe next Saturday or the Saturday after that, and you spend the day with the family, and you're shopping, and you're going out to eat, and you're doing all of these things, and that's what it was all about. It's not about how many brown boxes can you have delivered to your front door.
Right, right. And I think that is the biggest part, especially for small business, is like we're all trying to reel in or rope in as many people as we can, especially the ones that maybe don't get out as much or do the, I think since COVID, everybody online shops. And even, I needed volleyball knee pads that I forgot for my daughter the other day, and we now have same day delivery. Like we are all guilty of it, right? But there's no sports places around here that I can go get quick, knee
Right.
pads either that are within, 30 minutes for me. So we're all guilty of that. But I think as far as right now and in the economy that we're in, and how many small businesses are not doing very well, I think it's really important for everybody to like just try. I am happy if you just came in. Obviously, I hope that you buy something, but I am just happy to make the relationship, chat. A lot of people, my building is a historic building. And so a lot of people maybe that have come in for the holiday that come in and they remember what it was 30 years ago, 40 years ago. And they're like, this place is so neat, or we love the brick inside, So really, yes, I would encourage you to shop small and buy, but even just going into places that you maybe wouldn't go into, or it's not really your thing, because a lot of times those are the people that end up finding tons of things, and I think it's just really important for a small business. This last Friday was um, Pink Friday, which is like shop small before big box stores. And before I opened, I went at least locally. I couldn't get too far away from home, and work, but I went to all of the local shops that I could get to that were open for Pink Friday, and tried to support them as much as I could, And I just think just saying hi means the world to us, that you took the time to do that.
Yeah, it's all about the experience, and plus, it's you can find something that you hadn't thought about before by
Hmm.
doing that. I told a story before, and I know that the folks at Dusted Charm in Council Bluffs,
Hmm.
that I'd stopped in there because I needed a birthday gift, and they had the perfect thing, and they didn't think it was perfect. Really, this is what you want? I said, no, this is it. This is the one. And I never would have thought about it until I saw it at their store and it was sitting on their shelf. And it, you can find things in a different way than what you can just sitting. And I get, we have the phone and we're scrolling and we're doing that. But um, going out and going into these shops is, it's taken things back to the way I remember it
Hmm.
being pre-internet. I'm old, so but that's the most important part, and also the fact that you talked about going around to the different places on Pink Friday. You support each other
Hmm.
because it's yeah, it's you're all shops, and sometimes you sell some of the same things, but it's still wanting to support each other and wanting to shift the tide back to actually getting out. And that's what I love about small businesses, just how well they support each other.
And I think that that kind of brings up briefly, like, there's also, I feel like, a stigma that, like, oh, this person opened down the street, and what do you think about that? And like, I love that. I love when it's healthy competition, and that doesn't mean we can't support each other. Becca, same owner of Dusted Charm, she opened up the outskirts in Underwood, and I stop in there every couple of weeks. My daughter finds stuff. I found a sweatshirt on Pink Friday. Like, we do all support each other, and I hope that also that people see that, not in a like, oh, big headed way, but just that if we can't support each other and we can't show that, then why would we expect others to? You know what I mean? um I just think it's really important. And in the same day when I was open from 1 to 7. A lot of Underwood people also came in. The owners of Boss came in, Boss Bar, and the Nesting Grounds coffee shop. And like we do all support each other. We may not talk every day and be best friends, but we all know how hard it is to
Mm-hmm.
own a small business. Especially this week, like I'm running around like my head's cut off. My husband's like, what do you need from me? Like right now, and I'm like, I don't have enough time in the day. So, I just don't right now. Like and I host Thanksgiving. So, we're doing all this stuff for Thanksgiving at the house, and my husband's trying to get ready for everything for winter with our animals and the horses and getting hay and all that stuff. And so, we have our business side, but we have everything else around that. I still work a full-time job. Crazily enough, I started my master's program on Monday.
Oh,
So
okay.
I did. Yep. We bit the bullet. We did it, Todd. So, just letting people know too, like we are not just, my mind is always business thinking, and you and I have had a lot of conversations,
Mm-hmm.
that, but, we're putting a lot of our time into our businesses, and that kind of goes into our family time as well. My daughter comes down and helps and does what she can. And, friends, like my night out last night was, Truly's and my friends helping me decorate. So
Well, the two-word phrase "shop local" has it's out there so much that it's almost kind of a cliche, and people can just gloss over it and not even
mhm,
really think about it. But when you really boil it down as to what that means, it means supporting people like Jayme, supporting people like Becca, supporting people like with all of these shops. And these are your neighbors. These are your friends. These are people that are live in your community. And that's why it is so important. And like you said, Jayme, it's not necessarily that everybody's coming in and buying something. That's
mhm,
not it. It's they're coming to see. They're making it part of their routine and their schedule. And this is now your shop is a part of our community, and we want to support that, even if we're just coming in to say hi and to see how things are going. That's what it boils down to, and that's what I want to be able to push all this Christmas season. All the way through. So if you have a shop, somebody that has a shop and would like to come be a guest, please do. And Jayme, you can attest to it. I'm not charging for this. you
no,
know, this
no,
is
I
no. I want
appreciate
to.
that.
Yeah, this is how we support each other, and
Mhm.
this is why I want to be able to do that. And I'm grateful for you for taking the time because, like you said, you're unbelievably busy. So thank you for taking the time to do
Yeah.
this. I hope that you have a wonderful Christmas season and stores are full. Real quickly, address. I know we know you're in Neola. Where can people find the Unique Boutique?
Yes. So, 101 4th Street in Neola. We're a big white building on the corner. Also, my hours for this coming week, 9 to 6 on Friday and Saturday, both 11 to I think 5. I put on Sunday, and then this Saturday for us, I have always every time I've opened something new, like when we debuted the trailer and on Underwood and Neola. Is always Small Business Saturday has been that day. So that's kind of our birthday. It's our customer appreciation celebration. So we have snacks and we have bubbly and we have giveaways and it's my biggest day of the year. Black Friday is always great, but Saturday is my biggest day of the year. Lots of sales, lots of something for everybody. So
What better time to go to
yep.
Neola and stop in and help Jayme celebrate? And by the way, I didn't. I'm not going to let this go. I caught you changing reel into rope, and yeah, you're a rodeo wife. So I think it's awesome that yeah, guys like me would say reel in all the time. But
Yes.
I
Yes.
I wish you the absolute best
Thank you.
this Christmas season. Reach out again. Would love to get an update, and we'd looking forward to continuing relationship.
Yes, thanks so much, Todd. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody too.
Please get out, support local, and support the local businesses that we have all around the region. And just take some time, visit them, talk with them. As you heard Jayme talking about. It's not necessarily about buying something. They just love it when you come into the store and appreciate your support in that way. And I got a feeling that if you stop in the Unique Boutique, you're going to find something that you can't live without. So I encourage you to do that, and to the other stores in the area as well. We're going to be talking with more of them throughout this Christmas season. The best wrestler in Council Bluffs, George Ivanoff, was on the show earlier this week. He was on Tuesday's show, and I've gotten tons of comments about the information that George shared, and how things were for him growing up in a wrestling family, and also how all of that translates into what he's doing now with one of the best wrestling clubs around, The Best Wrestler. Go to thebestwrestler.com. You can learn more about how your young person can get involved. As you hear during that show, he has some young people coming in with no wrestling experience at all. And it's a different kind of entry level to get into that. So not quite as much of an investment. So learn more about it at thebestwrestler.com. Well, guess what? The Iowa-Nebraska game kicks off at 6:30 tonight. It is Friday on the 29th. And, well, let's learn more with one of my old radio buddies. As promised, longtime radio personality in the Omaha market, Mr. Jeff Larsen, and I would call him about a 99% pretty good guy, other than the fact that he's a Nebraska fan, and I've never been able to pull him out of that. So, which, to be honest with you, is one of the things I like about you, Jeff, is you're consistent. So thank you so much
for that might be the highest ratings I've ever gotten, Todd. I appreciate that. Thank you.
What's the season been like as a Nebraska fan this year? What's it been like? Because I know Nebraska started the season just going crazy and nearly finished the first half undefeated, had the one loss. Things kind of took a turn to the south after the season the schedule got a little tougher, but getting that win and finally being bowl eligible again, does it feel like a weight's lifted off your shoulders a little bit as a fan?
Oh, absolutely. In an enormous way. You know, that pressure to get that sixth game was crazy. Started the season off with complete euphoria, taking it to Colorado like we did, and, racked up some wins early. And then the roller coaster started, which all Nebraska fans are just used to that midseason nausea. And then a couple got away from us that should have given us our sixth win. And that's then, everybody falls back into the, oh, me, oh, my, here we go again thing. But overall, it's been a very exciting season to watch because we're playing good football again. Even if we're not winning the games that we should, we're playing good football. It's been entertaining to watch.
Freshman quarterback, Dylan Raiola, at times he's shown that he's a freshman. Other times I think that he shows flashes of what he's going to be. Yeah. And it can be tough when you're playing a freshman week in and week out. But I think he's gotten better throughout the season. What's your opinion?
Yeah, there's been some improvement. He also showed some chinks in his armor, though, a little bit, too, with, a lack of mobility there for a little while, not able to get out of that pocket or run the ball, unless they're not letting him do it. That's what we don't really know. But, he showed little signs of really learning as the weeks have gone on. And in all honesty, his receivers are the ones that really haven't helped him a lot. There have been a lot of dropped passes this year that should have gone for big plays that just didn't happen. And a couple of times where he missed wide open receivers too. So he's young. We just beat Wisconsin this week. So we got the Freedom Trophy, and freedom is not free. I mean, we paid the kid $1.2 million to come here and play. So, so the expectations were high, and that's a tough seat to sit in when you're coming right out of high school. Even if you're highly touted, you don't know what kind of a team he had around him in high school, but to come in and help rebuild a program, a lot of pressure. And I think he's for the most part, he's stepped up pretty well and done a great job for us.
Well, and with in the age of being able to go wherever you want to go, and you just go into the portal and transfer, it can be difficult. That had Nebraska come out and maybe only won 3 games this year, you kind of wonder whether Raiola would have stuck around, because he's a very talented quarterback. But I think that, and again, this is coming from a layman's point of view from the outside looking in, I like what Matt Rule has been doing. I like I think he's always been a better college coach than a pro coach, and the fact that we're seeing what we're seeing out of Nebraska this year. They said right at the beginning of the season the goal was to make a bowl game. Now that has happened. Now you've got the last game of the year. Is there going to be a letdown going into Iowa City? Is it going to be they're riding high and maybe the confidence is up? That's what we don't know going into the game.
Well, I think we're right on track. The goal was to make a bowl game this year, unless you were a Husker fan, and our goal, of course, was the national championship. That's probably not going to happen at this point. Going into Iowa, playing
I think a few
in
things
Iowa
have to
City. And Todd, your team, I got to hand it to you guys. You're doing everything you can to win this game, even putting an insurgent coach into our program now. Our new offensive coordinator, Holgerson, the guy grew up 30 miles south of Iowa City.
Just south of Iowa City.
He was an Iowa fan, so I have no idea what's going to happen in this game.
Yep.
He's calling the plays. So, does that old loyalty kick in, or is he going to help us rebuild this thing? Those are the questions that we're waiting to find out. So.
I have a feeling that he's bleeding red and white now, and we don't have to worry about if he's there and doing that, he's going to honor what he's gone in for. But this game is, I don't know, it's Iowa played pretty well. I mean, playing a 5th string quarterback, it's just been injury riddled throughout the year. And are we still going to see him? And it sounds like that's who it's going to be. So, this is a guy that was a backup at Colorado State that, I think he took 4 snaps total before he ended up at Iowa, and he was playing on the scout team as a linebacker. So,
but I heard at least 2 or 3 of your other players, 2 or 3 of your other players practiced this week. So we don't really know who we're going to see.
And it also makes it tough, I think, from a Nebraska defensive standpoint, is how do you prepare for this game? Yeah. Because you don't have enough of the quarterback that's playing to really know what he's going to be like. So it makes it hard. Obviously, going into Iowa City and those tight confines of Kinnick Stadium, the fans are right on top of you. And Nebraska's dealt with this quite a bit. I mean, the last win came at Iowa City. So I don't know really what's going to happen. To me, I think this is going to come down to which coach has the other team best prepared mentally, not skill-wise. It's just, where's your brain at? And I think that's how this is going to come down. And plus, I mean, if Nebraska beats Iowa, then both Iowa and Nebraska have the same record. And Nebraska would have won the games head to head. And I think Nebraska is going to get the first pick when it comes to bowl games. I've seen Music City Bowl, I've seen come up quite a bit for Nebraska. I also think that what's that game down in Tampa? It's the old Outback Bowl. They're not called the ReliaQuest Bowl. That's the new sponsor. And that one of those two probably. And I think that whoever wins this game is going to, that's the direction it'll go. I made a comment just recently, though, that Nebraska, they are going to travel so well that it's going to be extremely appealing for a bowl game to take them because of just how well the Nebraska fan base will travel to go to that game.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, our defense has been tough on quarterbacks all year. So if this kid is not used to any pressure, it could be a long day for you guys. I'm really feeling like we've got a good shot at this one. And what have you won? 8 of the last 9 or something like that. So we're due. We're absolutely due. And I'll tell you what you're going to see a lot of in the stands. That right there, buddy. That's what you're going to see in the stands. So.
Yeah. The big giant sideways Z
stands for knowledge, the College of Football Knowledge. Right. Yeah,
College of Football Knowledge. But I enjoy this game every year. I remember back when Nebraska first made the switch from the Big 12 over to the Big 10, and everybody was talking about, well, who's going to be their big rival? And everyone was, Iowa's not good enough. Well, it's what it is, and and then Nebraska's had this down cycle. I think that if they can keep Coach Rule and keep Dylan Raiola out of the transfer portal, I think that Nebraska's probably going to be next year. I mean, you're probably looking at a strong 8 wins.
I don't see him going to the portal at all. He's a Nebraska fan to begin with. His uncle's one of our coaches, as you know.
Well, yeah.
And right. His dad played for us and, was an All-American. And so he bleeds Husker red. I don't see him going anywhere. And I think we've got his little brother already committed to us as well, who is supposed to be another up-and-coming pretty good quarterback himself. So the future looks really bright for us here. And you and I have been, throwing jabs at each other for 10 or 15 years every time this game rolls around every year. So
a while.
Yeah, I love the rivalry, and we have a good time with it every year. But most years, we don't know who's going to end up winning this game, and that's what makes it exciting and such a great rivalry.
Well, what are your plans for the game? Are you watching it with friends? Or are you watching it in? I'm assuming you're not going to Iowa City to sit in a bar and watch it with your red jersey on.
No, I've got some friends coming in from Colorado actually that live out there. They're coming back. They're from here and old friends. So we'll be at the bar watching it with them and a bunch of other good buddies here. So it'll be a fun time. Looking forward to it and go Big Red, man.
Well, and just keep in mind that neither coaching staff is going to put you or me into the game. So,
they should.
They should. When the game's over, it's over.
Who knows more about what's going on than you and I, Todd, right? You've watched. We've watched this game together before.
Well, that was a couple of years ago that I came over and watched it with you in heart of Nebraska country, and Iowa ended up losing that game. So I'm never going back there for the game again. I obviously have. I caused it by going to Nebraska to watch it.
And didn't you win a Husker hat that night as a prize at the bar? I think you did.
Yeah. We ended up swapping or something because you won a Busch Light thing and I won a Husker hat. Anyway, sir, always grateful to get to talk to you. And just as you said, go Hawks.
Yeah,
we'll
go Hawks. Woo!
We'll touch base after the game.
All right, buddy. Thanks for the invite,
right.
and we'll talk to you this weekend for sure.
You know who else is going to be watching tonight's game? That's going to be Travis Waldstein, the entire Waldstein family at AirServe Heating and Air Conditioning, and also Waldstein Plumbing. Travis is a huge Hawkeye fan, a huge supporter of Iowa, and he's actually going to be at the game tonight. So also, we've talked about it many times, and I truly believe it, that when integrity matters and when doesn't it, and if you have HVAC needs or you have plumbing needs, these are the people you want to get a hold of. AirServe Heating and Air Conditioning in Council Bluffs, and also Waldstein Plumbing. If you're having any issues with your furnace right now, get them in there to take a look. They can also handle all your plumbing needs as well. So AirServe Heating and Air Conditioning of Council Bluffs, and also Waldstein Plumbing, a big supporter of Morning Coffee. And we thank you, Travis and Hayden and the entire Waldstein family, for all of the encouragement. All right. Well, I need to get off of here. And as I mentioned before, Black Friday shopping is not a thing for me. Small Business Saturday is. So I will be out and about tomorrow visiting some of the shops and enjoying all of these different unique places, including Jayme Busch on earlier on the program with Unique Boutique, and a lot of other places in the region as well. So Small Business Saturday tomorrow. Get out and support your friends, neighbors, family, and also find some great things while you're Christmas shopping. That's going to wrap things up for this episode and also for the week. Thank you so much for being a part of things. I hope you have a phenomenal weekend. My name's Todd Studer. We'll see you again Monday morning.